How's it going, everybody? Breezy here, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very, very well. It is that time once again, of course, where we delve into the Twitch save and talk about all things Brighton and Hove Albion, and we have just wrapped up our 5th season with the Seagulls, and oh, my word, what a season it was. But before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another upload from me, and leave a like on the video as well. And from now on, I'm going to do a new thing with these videos. I want to rank the season out of 10. Once we've gone through everything. So once the video's done, get in the comment section, give me a rating out of 10 to let me know how you thought we got on with Brighton this season. I think the scores are going to be quite high this time. So then, I've bigged it up. Where did Brighton finish at the end of season 5? Finished 12th last season, but how did we get on this time? It was a good season. That's right, do not scratch your eyes, viewers. We, in fact, finished 2nd in the Premier League, missing out on the title by just 4 points to Liverpool. You can see the 2 defeats in the final 3 games. Yeah, that was a little bit annoying. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, overall, a massive improvement to what was last season. We ended up winning 25 out of our 38 games, drawing 6 and losing 7, scoring 71 goals and only conceding 35, which I think when you consider that, or compare that, sorry, to last season, with just the 14 wins, 9 draws, and 15 defeats, conceding 61 and scoring 46, with a minus 15 goal difference compared to the plus 36 of this year. Safe to say, it was a big improvement on last season. But how did we do it? Well, let's start with the transfers to talk about the outs and talk about the ins. So just quickly to run you through some of the most notable outs. Justin Bijlow, or Bijlow, I'm very sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name properly, but it's not a problem anymore because he's no longer here. He went to Hertha Berlin for £60 million. A very unexpected £60 million bid came in from Hertha Berlin. I think they actually initially bid 40, and it was one of them we counter offered for 60, thinking they're not going to accept this. They did, so he went 60 million for Bijlow, and I'll do it. Oh, you weren't supposed to say yes. You weren't supposed to say yes, but I can't really turn that down now, can I? I can't really turn that down, can I? He's got to go for that. It's 60 million quid. It's a shame because he's great. I mean, pure profit. Yeah, all right. See you later, Justin. See you later, mate. Albert Sambi Lokonga went to Monaco. Yeah, he only spent 1 season at the club as a permanent Brighton player, and we ended up moving him on. He didn't play a whole host of games for us in that full season. He got a 6.74 average rating for it as well. But he went for £22 million, doubling the price that we paid for him. So decent profit for Lokonga, who's gone on to have a pretty good time with Monaco. Leandro Trossard was another one who left £15 million to Spartak Moscow. It was never quite good enough, in my opinion, for what we wanted to do with Brighton. And to get his wages off the books was the most important thing. And to get 15 million quid for him, not bad business, in my opinion. Adam Hosnick then was another one that we moved on after originally coming in on a free transfer from Sparta Prague. We ended up getting £10 million for him from Sporting Gijón. He just never really developed into the player that I've seen him develop into in other saves. And I thought, you know what? For the players we wanted to bring in, I just thought it made way more sense to cash on him now. Whilst we still could. He was never really playing for me either, so to get 10 million quid for him, I think is actually quite good business. Moise Caicedo was the next one who moved on then to Sochi? I'm not entirely sure. But again, a player who never really played for us. He was desperate to leave and was never going to break into my first team, unfortunately. So £10 million. Are they playing Russia? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, 10 million quid for Moise Caicedo. Not really much else to say. Never played him. Happy to see him go. A bit of a later move, this one. He actually started the season with us, but Andrew Omabamidele, who you remember suffered that broken leg last season, we ended up moving on to Toluca, which is in Mexico, for £8.5 million. So basically recouping the money we paid for him. So there are the outs. Let's talk about the more exciting part, which is the ins. And this is where I think it was really the difference in us finishing 2nd in the league and having the season that we ended up having, because we made some big name signings. We'll skip over this one very quickly. He's out on loan at the moment, but Geslin Kudimbana? Sure, why not? Belgian regen goalkeeper, and as you can see, looks very, very good for just 19 years of age. He was 18 when we brought him in, but you can see there a lot of room to develop, and I think this guy is going to be our #1 goalkeeper. A few years later on in the save, I think we're going to have him as our #2 going into this season. Sam Johnson is currently still at the club. I think we might keep him around or maybe move him on if we can get a decent bid for him. But this guy, in a few years' time, is going to be Brighton's #1, and I think he's going to be that for the foreseeable future. Very excited to see how good he ends up being. But the actual replacement then for Justin Bijlow was, of course, one of the goalkeepers of FM22, right? Dominik Livakovic. We got him in from Monaco for just £21 million, so a third of the price that we sold Justin Bijlow for, which I think is outrageous business. You can see there, had a very good season, just a 35 goals conceded in 37 and 16 clean sheets. He was absolutely one of the goalkeepers of the season. And you can see why I brought him in. Like, it was one of them. The Bijlow sale happened so unexpectedly. We saw Livakovic was available with such a low price. It was like, you kind of got to get him in. You can't pass up the opportunity to get a goalkeeper that good for that low amount of money. And 68 grand a week as well. Very happy with the wages that he's on. Just Dominic Livakovic, what a man. Also coming in from Monaco then was Morten Thorsby to play that box-to-box midfield role. Now, Morten Thorsby was someone that I actually looked at several times whilst at Southampton. The problem is that we had James Ward-Prowse when we were at Southampton, so it didn't really make much sense to get him in at that point. But we needed a box-to-box midfielder. Kondogbia was someone we weren't really entirely happy with from last season. So we figured having someone to play ahead of Yves Bissouma was kind of a priority. And I thought Thorsby, with those mental attributes and those physical attributes, was absolutely perfect. I describe this guy as a bit of a B-Tech Thomas Souček. Like, not as good as Souček, but he can kind of do everything that Souček does, just not as well. But again, it was mainly about those physicals and mental attributes that stood out to me. Like, he was 29 when we brought him in, so, like, you know, coming towards the sort of peak of his powers. And what a season he had: 34 appearances, 3 goals, 4 assists, and a 7.09 average rating for just £28.5 million. One of my signings of the season. Like, I can quite comfortably say that. Next in then was Marcus Edwards for just a very low price of £6.5 million from Benfica. As you can see, didn't play an awful lot for us. Only one start in the Premier League, and the rest were sub appearances. But we spoke about in the last recap video that I wanted to give Conceição another season to prove himself, which, spoiler alert, he definitely did. But we needed some cover for that right-hand side because Conceição did have some issues with injuries last season. I thought Marcus Edwards for £6.5 million, English player, homegrown, it made sense to bring him in on 27 grand a week. And do you know what? Like, didn't play an awful lot, just the 1 goal and the 1 assist in the Premier League, but 3 goals in the Carabao Cup. I think that is where he's going to be most important in those cup competitions, in some of the the Champions League games that we're going to have coming into the new season. I think having someone like Marcus Edwards as a squad player is very handy to have. Brian Altnori was someone we brought in on loan from Fiorentina. I never played him. I just needed left back cover. Yeah, not really much else to be said about that. Luis Vieira is someone we brought in from Grêmio, a young regen, 19-year-old Brazilian, who I think his future very much is going to be in that number 10 role. But we're going to loan him out again going into the new season, and when he gets back from that loan spell, we'll see how much more he's develops. But yeah, one for the future. Tanguy Nianzou was brought in on loan. Obviously, with Omobamidele leaving, we needed to put cover at centre-back, and he was someone that we wanted to bring in on loan to the end of the season. Again, didn't play an awful lot for us. Whenever he did a pretty good job. He's going back to Bayern Munich at the end of the season. We will not be signing him permanently. But yeah, shout out to Tanguy Nianzou. Couldn't have done it without you, I suppose. Malcolm Boxall was an interesting one. We signed him in January and loaned him back to Coventry. But again, this is someone who I think has got a very, very bright future and someone I'm actually going to use going into next season as an extra midfield option. But at just 19 years of age, I'm sure you'd agree this guy has got a big future ahead of him. A January recruit was Dejan Zivadinovic, a big angry Serbian man. He's 6 foot 17 heading. I'd say he's angry, he's got aggression. But yeah, we brought him in as one for the future and a good squad player to have. And I think going to the Champions League and the Cup competition next year, he's going to see plenty of game time and hopefully be an important player for us. But look at that potential, like a lot to be excited about. Another January recruit, and we just couldn't not sign him, right? Ivan Toney, one of my favourite strikers in the game over the last couple of years, and a bit of a cult hero over on the channel. And yeah, we got him from our former club, Southampton. They finally relinquished him after we tried to get him in the summer, but they wanted like 60 million for him, which was ridiculous. But they basically weren't playing him. He didn't make a single appearance for Southampton in this season. We ended up getting him for £17.5 million. Viewers, it's happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I am once again reunited with the big man, Mr. Ivan Toney. Come on! 17 million quid from Southampton, and he's coming as an impact sub on 56 grand a week. I love it. I love it. Big fan of Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney, I'm so happy you're here, mate. 1 England cap as well. I love that for you. But the big signing of the summer window was James Madison. There was a really interesting debate between myself and some members of the chat who weren't entirely convinced that he was worth the £36.5 million outlay. There's a reason why I wanted to go for Madison. It was between him and Andre Horta from Braga. But Madison, I felt, just had that X factor, and I thought he could make, like, in certain games, he could be the real difference maker. And there is a real reason why I wanted to bring him in, and we spoke about it in the last recap video where I said I was going to make some big changes to the tactics going into this season. And for the tactics we were going to deploy, you can see it there, wide playmaker on the left hand side. I thought he was absolutely perfect for that role and genuinely the best player we could have got for that position. And with 4 goals, 9 assists and 6.95 average rating, given my experience using this system, wide playmakers don't usually get that high of an average rating, and even assists and goals can be quite on the low side, but it's just what they can contribute in terms of build-up play I think is so important. I mean, the red arrows make it seem like it's a terrible signing, but trust me, he was fantastic. He scored an absolute screamer as well, by the way. I think it was against Leicester. I mean, run the clip, because this is an absolute banger. I'm a big fan of it. Oh my God, James Madison, that is outrageous! As if he's just done that at Leicester. Surely not, James. Waste of money, people were saying. Don't sign him, people were saying. Have a word. Have a word with yourselves. What? I mean, Danny Ward's goalkeeping is questionable, but he wasn't getting anywhere near it anyway. Bloody hell. So yeah, very happy with the sign. I feel like I've been vindicated. And again, given the season we had, I think it was definitely a very good sign to bring in James Madison. £36.5 million. Well worth the outlay. And we mentioned the tactics then. And I said it in the last video and I stuck to my word. This was the system that we ran for the entirety of last season. And it was just so good. Alexis McAllister and Ollie Watkins sort of traded places in that shadow striker role. I mean, Madison should be in that position. I think he's injured currently. There you go. Rather than Berriese. Shout out to Berriese, by the way. Played like every position across this front three and was usually quite good. So excellent utility player for this system, Mr. Berriese. But yeah, Consecao had a fantastic season. I said I wanted to give him another season to prove himself. A 7.13 average rating across the entire year. You compare that to his 6.71 the previous season. That was the improvement we wanted to see from him. I mean, not much more in terms of goals and assists, but just his overall performances were so much better in this system, providing loads of chances to the likes of Watkins and Sesko at top. And Benjamin Sesko, by the way, 25 goals, or 25 goals in all competitions, 23 goals across the entire season. But yeah, this system overall, I mean, Ollie Watkins, we tried him as a right winger at certain points. Like I said, him and McAllister sort of traded places. There was a period where Consecao picked up an injury, so we had Watkins out on the right-hand side and McAllister through the middle. But as the season went on, I think Ollie Watkins in that shadow striker role just absolutely excelled there. Ended up with 13 goals and 7 assists. He was absolutely phenomenal. Played a few games up front when Sesko wasn't available, but yeah, as a shadow striker, he was superb. And again, scored way more goals than he did last year, got more assists, was just overall a much better performer this year than he was last season. That's pretty much the case for all the players who were here last season, like Luis Felipe and Diakabi as well. Shout out to them. Diakabi with 10 goals, Luis Felipe with 7. Them from set piece was absolutely deadly. So the story of the season then really looks like this. We had a pretty decent start with wins against Bournemouth and Burnley before playing Liverpool, West Ham, losing both those games, and a really thrilling 3-3 draw against Manchester United with Benjamin Sesko. So he didn't usually score against big teams, but he did in this one, including an 89th minute equaliser in a game that we really should have won. We tried a few things at half time and then ended up getting what we at least deserved, which was a point. But yeah, what a game that was. Look at Lamberty, look at the space he's in. What are you doing? Sesko. Yes! Come on! Let's go! Come on! Let's go, viewers! Oh, we'll take that. We will take that. And as you can see, the results just kept coming following that. Like, we just went on a really good run. Newcastle, the only team that really turned us over. It was just an off day for us, really. But you can see wins against Leeds, Everton, a decent draw at home to Arsenal, a fantastic 2-1 away win against Chelsea, where one of the moments of the season, a Berriese, 93rd minute, picking up a deserved winner. I mean, Chelsea and City, by the way, I don't know if you caught it earlier in the table, had an absolutely horrendous season. Chelsea down in 11th, City down in 8th, which is hilarious. Even though it looks like they're going to be in the Champions League, I think they may have won the Europa League, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they were awful throughout this season. And the Berriese, that 93rd minute winner, what a moment. Boys, make a decision. Just make a decision. Kondogbia, Eze. I thought he was going to shoot. Eze! Come on! Come on! Let's go! Let's go! Come on, we've beaten Chelsea at the bridge! And what followed was a 2-0 win against Manchester City at home as well. Ollie Watkins and Diakabi on the score sheet. And as you can see, we just kept winning. One of the biggest strengths of this side, we were able to just grind out 1-0 wins whenever we needed to. Like Sesko popping up with some really important goals. The amount of clean sheets that we kept as well, I didn't even realise. I'm only sort of really noticing it now looking back at it. We kept so many clean sheets this season. And yeah, obviously the cups were a little bit disappointing as well. Going out to Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, we didn't really do enough in the home leg. It was a 0-0, didn't do enough in the home leg and ended up being us 3-1 despite the fact we took an early lead for Ivan Toney. The Morton Thorsby red card didn't help matters. And Arsenal as well in the league beat us 3-0 comfortably at their place. Arsenal away is always a difficult fixture for me in FM, like traditionally, so not really much to be surprised there. And in the FA Cup, we were dumped out again by Chelsea despite playing really well and taking the lead twice. Conor Gallagher broke our hearts, and yeah, annoying that one. Sam Johnson had to play because Livakovic was injured. So I feel like if Livakovic was in goal, we may well have got through. And then the run-in. We streamed at the moment, the day I'm recording this, sorry, is Wednesday. So we've just done a transfer window stream going into next season. But the Tuesday night stream was from Norwich down to Manchester United. And that stream there, the run of games we're having, the wins against Southampton, who, by the way, finished in 3rd. Southampton at the start of that stream were well in the title race, so it's good to see that the team that I helped build are clearly carrying on the, well, not even carrying on the success, I got sacked by them, but, you know, they're doing what I couldn't. But wins against them and Tottenham, and then the 1-1 draw against Chelsea, a game we absolutely battered them and were unlucky not to win. It was an absolute screamer from Zaniolo. It was a game we really should have won. So yeah, disappointing. And then Manchester City, a game which we led twice, and 2 highlights they had, and they scored both of them. And we absolutely battered them. Benjamin Sesko missed a hatful of chances. Another game we really, really should have won. And then it was the 4-2 win against West Ham, followed by a really disappointing 1-0 defeat away at Anfield against Liverpool, who ended up going on to win the league. Harvey Barnes with a lovely little chip over Livakovic in a game. Again, it was another one of those games we had plenty of chances. We just couldn't put them away, and that was really the difference. Liverpool just had that one moment of quality, and they made sure they took that chance when it came through, and that was enough to get them the win. We got ourselves a 3-0 win against Wolves, second to last game of the season before falling to a 3-1 defeat to Manchester United, where we were still in the title race, but on the last game of the season, Liverpool beat Newcastle 9-0. So it didn't really matter what we did at Old Trafford. Liverpool were always going to win the league. But overall, though, I mean, what a season. I did not expect that this tactic would be as effective as it ended up being for us. I'm definitely going to stick with it going into next season, into the Champions League campaign. Yeah, Benjamin Sesko's got a £100 million bid on him from Inter Milan. Well, I'm just going to get out there now. I don't think Benjamin Sesko is going to be here next season because we can't really turn down £100 million, can we? We're Brighton. So, would you have sold him? Would you have kept him? I think most of you would have sold him. So, it's looking like we're going to be going into next season without Benjamin Sesko, but I've got some ideas in mind. Well, I've just told you, I've just done the transfer window stream, so we've made our signings going into next season. What can I say? The future's looking good. I have to say, the future's looking very, very good. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is how we finished second in the table with Brighton and Hove Albion. I do have to say, Leicester got relegated as well, by the way, so that's massive for us. But I do have to say, I don't think we're going to see Manchester City, Chelsea, and Manchester United all have equally terrible seasons. I'm fascinated to see what Southampton get up to next season, especially with them in the Champions League. I haven't seen what transfer business they've done yet, so I'm going to have to look through that at some point. But yeah, I would say, I said this on stream, I don't think we are going to be in a position to challenge for the league again next season. I'm setting this same expectation or the same target that I had going into this season, which was I just want European football. If we can build on this and get back-to-back Champions League qualification, then that is absolutely fantastic. If we have to settle for Europa League, then fair enough. But we absolutely have to expect some sort of resurgence from City, Chelsea, and United. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, please get in the comment section and rate this season out of 10. I'll be honest, if there's not at least majority 9s out of 10s in there at least, I'm going to be very disappointed. And of course, as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video. And also, like I said, we stream this 3 nights a week over on Twitch. If you're not already following the Twitch channel, the link is in the description and you would have seen it on the screen throughout the video. Head over there, drop it a follow, and come hang out in the stream one evening. It's a lot of fun. Like, it's been, the save is at a point right now where it is a lot of fun and people are really enjoying it. So come check it out if you haven't already. But until the next video, ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, have been Breezy, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.